He's not.
Great evening, everyone.
KATU's Weather on the Hour is brought to you by Teplic Laser Surgery Centers. Your vision for the future.
On World News Tonight this Friday, the great American shopping spree begins. But will the boom in internet commerce hurt sales at traditional stores? In Texas, two rival schools united in grief, paying tribute to those who died building the bonfire. Waiting for a court to rule on giving people who were adopted access to their birth records. Some biological parents would rather not be found. And the power play at Christianity's holiest shrine, debating an emergency exit at the tomb of Christ.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Sitting in tonight, Charles Gibson.
Good evening. We are going to start tonight with a great American tradition that's changing. More people were in stores today than any other day of the year. The question this year is where they'll be buying and how, on the internet or at the mall. For millions of people today, it was the mall. Some people call it retail therapy. For others, it's more of a headache. Either way, by one estimate, the average American will spend more than $800 this holiday season. Last year, when shopping on the internet came into the mainstream, the media called it the first internet Christmas. Now there are more than 700,000 websites that sell things. ABC's Brian Rooney on what the second internet Christmas will mean for traditional merchants and their new web competitors.
No need to run.
While some people were in line as early as 6 a.m. today, an internet toy company in Los Angeles busily filled orders from people who stayed home and shopped online.
Everything I've bought this holiday was online.
An ABC News poll shows that internet shopping may nearly triple this season, from 7% of shoppers in 1998 to 18% this year. 22 million people expected to buy at least one gift online, and the so-called e-tailers make it easier all the time.
Shop together online.
Yeah.
Only at landsend.com.
The management of the St. Louis Galleria took the growth of online shopping as a threat to the very existence of the mall, and ordered all its stores to stop promoting their websites anywhere on the property.
We want to ensure the future that we both prosper, our stores here locally and those stores that don't even have online resources.
The fear is that the internet will steal business from the stores, and therefore the malls, which sometimes get a percentage of the store's sales. The ban shocked many retail chains like The Right Start, a children's store, which also sells on the web.
I think that long-term, the internet is going to be a tremendous boost to retail activity, including activity at the mall.
Anyway, that's the hope. Some stores like the Gap even have online shopping available in some of its stores. The big stores you see in nearly every mall are trying to take the internet trade back from the online upstarts.
The winners are going to be those that have complementary strategies, those that actually embrace the internet.
Some retailers say the internet poses no more a threat to stores and malls than the catalog boom. And they say it's possible that this year at least, everyone's business will increase as Americans go on a shopping spree in the midst of the most prosperous economy in the nation's history. And of course, the truly traditional way of ordering Christmas gifts will never change. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The boom in internet commerce is being driven by consumer spending, and consumers increasingly have more money to spend. The government reported today that the average person's income was up 1.3% last month, the largest monthly increase in more than 5 years. Put that together with the lowest unemployment rate in 30 years, and if you're in the retail industry, you have a critical problem. More people looking to buy and fewer people available to sell. Here's ABC's Bill Redeker.
On this, one of the busiest shopping days of the year, checkout lines were long, tempers short.
Next purchase.
The severe shortage of sales clerks, cashiers, and other seasonal workers has customers and retailers frustrated.
I've been with Target for 12 years, and this is probably the most difficult year that I can remember.
Because retail jobs do not pay that much, about $6 an hour, merchants have to be inventive and offer a variety of incentives to attract seasonal workers.
At the cellular phone company in Detroit, employees who recruit new workers are rewarded with a bounty.
Any of our employees that brings on any sales rep, any salesperson to us, we're giving a $1,000 bonus.
1109.
At this store in Connecticut, new employees are given 30% off on all merchandise.
They get an employee discount immediately upon being put on staff. And then we have employee shopping nights, which is an additional discount.
Thanks for shopping at Perkins.
And if working hours are a problem, merchants say they will just have to adjust.
They can work 3 to 9, they can work 6 to 9, so it's flexible.
They tell you when they want to work.
Well, more or less, yes.
Land's End currently has a variety of exciting jobs in customer sales and distribution.
The tight labor market is also a problem for online retailers.
You want a dressy blouse or casual?
An expected surge of new internet shopping forced Land's End to offer extra perks to attract seasonal employees.
I love the fitness center most of all.
And if you think the labor shortage will eventually get better,
it is not going to get any better. What we're seeing again is just a very tight labor market. So all of the segments of industry are competing for the same population.
So grin and bear it. You may need those 28 shopping days till Christmas. Bill Redeker, ABC News, Stamford, Connecticut.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down more than 19 points to close at 10,988. On the NASDAQ, stocks were up more than 27 points. One of the great rivalries of college football was played out today, but neither the players in the game nor spectators in the stands were fully focused on football. Indeed, at times, it almost seemed there was more unity than rivalry. ABC's Steve Osunsami is in College Station, Texas.
It was the largest crowd ever to see a football game in Texas. The visiting University of Texas Longhorns versus the home team, the Texas A&M Aggies. And in the middle of all this, there was the moment when the thousands here stood still. F-16 fighters paid tribute to the 12 who died in last week's accident not far from here.
There's students that are missing, and they'll never be here, but they're in our hearts.
Knowing Aggies, they will always remember those 12 people.
The past few days were painful. The funerals, the late-night vigil around the tumbled stack of logs, the concern the school might end the bonfire tradition. Some of the students injured in the accident were happy to see these teams play.
With my one goal, I'm in the hospital to make it to this game.
Governor George W. Bush says he understands why.
People around the country have got to understand that there is an amazing spirit called the Aggie spirit.
These two teams have met more than 100 times. The rivalry between these two schools is old. No one here has forgotten what happened last week. They say playing this game is good medicine. There was plenty of healing here. In the end, the school that lost so much came from behind and won. Finally, something the home team could celebrate. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, College Station, Texas.
And when we come back, Oregon's law on adoption. Do children have the right to know their birth parents, or do parents have a right to their privacy? And the threat of catastrophe at the tomb of Jesus Christ, how egos are trumping safety at Christianity's holiest shrine.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Tylenol.
Labor of love took on a whole new meaning when Kyle was born. 12 hours of labor.
One of life's most joyful moments can also be one of its most painful. But take comfort, as so many women have, in Tylenol, the pain reliever doctors and hospitals choose most.
Come meet your little brother.
Hello. Tylenol, take comfort in our strength.
Oatmeal lovers, book a chapel in Vegas. If you have a passion for moist, chewy oatmeal and satisfying chunks of real fruit, then say I do to new Nutri-Grain Fruitful Squares. Fill up and you're good to go.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. Work out.
Office Depot, taking care of business.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods. Now Centrum has the only leading multivitamins with lutein to help maintain your precious sight. Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein.
The Spot Lifter is Bissell's Wash It Down, Lift It Up, Get On With Your Life cordless deep cleaner. Life's messy. Clean it up.
What makes the fiber and Citracel fiber therapy so special? Of all these fiber therapies, only Citracel's fiber can't ferment to produce excess gas. And only Citracel's fiber is 100% soluble. For effective relief, choose Citracel.
In Newark, New Jersey today, a small plane crashed and literally ripped through a residential neighborhood. The single-engine plane had just taken off, headed for Virginia, when engine trouble was reported. The plane came down on a factory, which began to burn. Pieces of the wreckage destroyed a number of parked cars and part of a fast food restaurant nearby. All 3 passengers were killed and at least 20 neighborhood residents were injured. The plane's pilot had been warned not to take off because of bad weather. In Oregon, the courts are going to have to weigh the rights of adopted children against the rights of their biological parents. The State Court of Appeals began hearing arguments this week on a controversial new referendum approved by the voters. The law gives adopted children the right to see their birth certificate, the right to know who their parents are. Many of those parents, however, want the law overturned. Here's ABC's Deborah Wong.
When the new law was passed a year ago, thousands of people adopted as children hailed it as a major victory.
God bless America. They've opened them up, and they're righting the wrong. We're moving the right direction.
What they won, access to their birth certificates, which were sealed at the time of their adoptions, and which contain the names of their biological parents. That set off a legal battle between the civil rights of one group and the privacy rights of another.
The law, in many cases, pits adoptees against the very people they're seeking to find, their birth parents. They had assumed that their privacy would be protected when they gave up their children for adoption.
This woman gave up a child conceived during a brutal rape. She does not want that child to track her down.
We feel betrayed. This is not how we wanted it to happen. It's not fair. It's not right.
They feel like they were promised something. It was based on law. Why can't it all of a sudden now be changed?
This is what I've been...
But people who are adopted as children say it's a matter of their civil rights. Kathy Allen has spent years, even hired a private investigator to try to uncover information about her past.
This is it. That's all you could find. That's my life.
After she was diagnosed with cancer, the search for her biological parents and for her family's medical history became even more critical.
I go to the doctor and they say, oh, goodness, let's have your medical history. And I say, I don't have it. I'm adopted. He said, well, don't you have any? No, nothing.
She and more than 1,000 other adoptees have already flooded state offices with requests for their birth records. So if the law is upheld, the secrets of their births may finally be revealed. Deborah Wong, ABC News, Portland, Oregon.
The struggling town of Osgood, Indiana, not far from Cincinnati, has been given a gift of $22 million by a couple who made their fortune in the stock market. Gilmore and Gilda Reynolds lived modestly. Nobody knew they'd accumulated so much money. Their gift will create a foundation that throws off about $1 million a year, 3 times Osgood's annual budget. The money will finance economic development and improvements in that town. Coming up later on World News Tonight, the Sacred Church in Jerusalem that could become a tinderbox. It's already igniting old feuds.
Where will you be when your grandson gets his first taste of the ocean? When man walks on Mars? When your children want to discover their heritage? Life is filled with moments you don't want to miss. That's why if you have high cholesterol and heart disease, you should know about Zocor. Zocor is proven to help save lives by reducing the risk of a heart attack. So where will you be tomorrow? That could depend on what you do today. When diet and exercise aren't enough, talk to your doctor about adding Zocor. Zocor is a prescription medication that is not right for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems, because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Zocor, and about any medicines you are taking. For more information, talk to your doctor or call. Zocor, it's your future. Be there.
We never thought we'd use OnStar for snakes.
I just hate snakes.
Yeah, traveling through Arizona, we blew a front tire. It shot off the road, and I looked down at the ground. It was crawling with rattlesnakes.
It was unbelievable.
I pushed the OnStar button. Within seconds, the OnStar advisor pinpointed our location and sent a tow truck.
Called the paramedics.
Yeah, and kept talking, because we
hate snakes.
Yeah.
The one-touch connection to people who can help.
OnStar.
Call 1-800-OnStar-7.
All right, kid. Here we go. 10-9. What do you got? What do you got? Yeah. All right, come on.
What would you do if someone you loved had a heart attack? Did you know it's now been proven that the same Bayer aspirin you have in your bag for muscle aches may actually help stop you from dying if you take it during a heart attack?
Downtown. Lucky shot.
Can your pain reliever do that? Talk to your doctor now.
Next time I'll go easier on you.
Bayer, powerful pain relief and so much more.
3 Cuban refugees rescued clinging to inner tubes will be allowed to stay in the U.S. The 3, including a 5-year-old boy released from the hospital today, are the only survivors from a boat that sank 2 days ago. The Coast Guard found 6 bodies today, and the search continues for victims. 14 people in all were on board. In the North Sea tonight, rescuers are searching for 12 people feared drowned when a Norwegian ferry sank with 88 people on board. 10 people are confirmed dead, and the water is very cold. The brand new boat crashed into rocks during a storm. With the millennium, millions of pilgrims will be coming soon to worship at Jerusalem's Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Christianity's holiest shrine. One problem? It's a fire trap. Now, that problem could be taken care of with an extra door, an emergency exit. But that is a whole lot easier said than done. Here's ABC's Gillian Findley.
It is called the Ceremony of the Holy Fire, held every Easter. 17,000 worshipers, 17,000 candles. And every year, officials worry desperately about a real fire, especially since the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has only one door.
God forbid if something is going to happen over there, then, we are trapped. We are trapped over there.
150 years ago, there was a fire. 300 people were crushed to death trying to escape. With millions of Christians expected to visit in the next year, Israeli authorities have made it clear the church needs another door, an emergency door. It sounds simple enough, but this church is shared 6 ways, 6 denominations. The Catholics, the Greeks, the Armenians, the Copts, the Ethiopians, and the Syrians. And that is where the trouble began.
You see, this was the exit from the time of the Crusaders.
The Israeli official who's been trying to negotiate with the churches insists there is a solution. Behind this locked door is a hallway. One end leads to a sealed door on the roof, home to the Ethiopian monks. The Israelis say just unseal the door, but the monks don't want all those tourists climbing over their space. Neither do the Copts, who control the sealed door at the other end of the hallway. Then there are the Greeks. They're worried that whichever church controls the emergency exit will be tempted to turn it into a private entrance. And that's something no denomination has ever had.
All of the communities are very jealous of their rights. Because here, if you concede, you give in. You cannot afford to be generous in the Holy Sepulchre. That's why there's so much infighting.
Example, the dome above Christ's tomb, it took the churches 40 years to agree on how to restore it. 70 years to agree on how to repair this arch. So, to these religious men, a 5-year debate about a door seems like nothing. The Israelis say all of this has given them new respect for the Muslim warrior Saladin. 800 years ago, when he controlled Jerusalem, his solution to the Christian squabbling was to give the only set of keys to the church to a Muslim family. Descendants of that same family have been opening and closing the church's only door ever since. Gillian Finley, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Incidentally, the Vatican today told the Israeli government to stop trying to mediate in the feuding over the door, and that makes it very unlikely the problem will be solved in time for all those millennium pilgrims. In a moment, the business of status and desire.
Always look for the label big and blue. Ted is Ted.
How the advertising industry changed from the simple to the sophisticated.
The color of your phone can be this easy.
Professor, tell us about your discovery.
Absolutely. You can get all your long-distance calls for under $1.
How is that possible?
Just dial 1010-220. It's only 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes and just 9 cents a minute after that.
When do you get these rates?
Every hour of every day.
And no monthly fees.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, no monthly fees.
I told you they'd love it.
Dial 1010-220.
In this life, there's just no stopping. No break for a hacking cough. No rest for a raw, sore throat, aches, fever. But when you're desperate for relief, there is TheraFlu. Fast, powerful, hot liquid therapy. With the first sip of that soothing hot liquid, you feel relief is on the way. Soon your throat is soothed, your cough calmed. Maximum strength TheraFlu. Now in new honey lemon chest congestion and cough. Instant comfort, powerful relief.
Do rich people deserve more space than the rest of us? Was technology meant to improve their lives alone? Do the stars shine for their eyes only? Introducing the special edition Century 2000. It's the first limited edition that isn't limited to the rich.
And during Buick's Countdown to 2000 event, get this special Millennium Package offer.
The new Century 2000 by Buick. A luxury car for everyone.
Did you see that? That had to be the play of the century.
So you don't think it's a big deal to put up with diarrhea when you're at home?
Ooh, too bad you missed out on our $50,000 grand prize.
Pizza! But you already know if you take Imodium AD right away, you can stop the discomfort of diarrhea quickly and safely, often with just one dose.
It's the greatest play I've ever...
Pizza!
Absolutely amazing.
So, one question. What are you waiting for?
Let's take a look at it
Hello?
one last time.
Want to color your gray hair and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Simply shampoo in Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Just for Men blends away gray. The gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
Oatmeal lovers, book a chapel in Vegas. If you have a passion for moist, chewy oatmeal and satisfying chunks of real fruit, then say I do to new Nutri-Grain Fruitful Squares. Fill up and you're good to go.
Can you believe it? My husband, Nolan Ryan, has arthritis. So his doctor says stay active and take Advil to make it easier. I take it for my arthritis pain, so we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain.
Tonight, people pushing brooms one day, taking your pulse soon after. Is this for real? Think that's a trained nurse at your bedside?
My wife should never have had to suffer like this because somebody didn't have enough training.
Maybe you should think again. 2020 tonight.
Up next on Channel 2 News, the weather. Good news, close calls, and great stories of survival. Plus maps of road closures and last-minute conditions. Full team coverage from Clark County to Southern Oregon. I'm Steve Dunn. Local news is next.
Finally tonight, advertising as a phenomenon of the century. We've been looking all week at the force that advertising has become, how it shapes tastes and sells products by really selling dreams. But how did advertisements become such sophisticated creations? In the early 1920s, they were much more simple, but as a General Electric ad once said, progress is our most important product. For the century on Friday, here's Peter Jennings.
Tonight, advertising. A 100 years ago, advertising consisted primarily of a straightforward and simple message. Here's our product, here's where you get it. But with the development of the consumer economy, companies worked hard to increase demand for their products. Advertising became one of the great growth industries of the 20th century. And with it came sophistication. Advertising aimed at status and desire.
Escape.
In the 1920s, advertisers first tried to give extra meaning to a product's identity.
The Lucky Strike campaign. Reach for a Lucky instead of a sweet.
targeted women using a kind of neurotic status appeal. Don't get fat.
Advertising in the 20s also employed the first celebrity pitchmen, including Babe Ruth. It was the advertisers who created ailments and maladies for which they had a product. It was Listerine who coined the word halitosis for bad breath. The Santa Claus we see today owes everything to a Coca-Cola campaign in the 1930s, which transformed a character previously envisioned as a church bishop into a jolly old elf clad in Coca-Cola's colors. To bolster belief in advertising claims, the ad man Bruce Barton wrote a book called The Man Nobody Knows, in which he put forward the idea that the first great advertising man was Jesus. It was an instant bestseller.
Barton was saying that if Jesus had not been an ad man, hadn't been great at selling himself and his ideas, Christianity would never have existed.
And so, Barton implied, listen to your ads. They have good messages to tell you. And people did.
Yes, it's Maxwell House coffee time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen.
The growth of radio gave advertising a new and authoritative way to reach the public.
Pour me a cup, Gracie.
You know, Maxwell House is always good to the last drop.
Programs were actually built by advertising agencies and broadcast from advertising agency offices.
And after World War II, television followed the same pattern.
Into the early 60s, most programs had one sponsor, and no one else was in that hour to compete with you in any way.
The television commercial could do so much more than radio. You could see products and watch them demonstrated, though live television did on occasion present a problem.
Somebody's playing games.
I dreamed I got a lift in my maiden form bra.
Thanks in part to the enormous power of television, the 60s became known as the period of creative revolution, when advertising men thought of themselves less as salesmen and more as Hollywood directors, charming people with their message.
Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball.
The 60s also created advertising as ideology. Politicians noted advertising's impact on the public and noted the public's fears. Coca-Cola's compelling campaign, introduced in the middle of the Cold War, sold soft drinks with an appeal to world peace. Today, advertising has reached a new zenith with the addition of cable and the internet. It has become harder and harder to get a consistent message to a broad audience. Stock prices rise and fall on the basis of effective ad campaigns.
Increasingly, the only way to differentiate your product or service from somebody else's is the entertainment and information value you add to it.
An industry that began small and grew to become the engine of modern commerce in the frenzied 20th century.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, a young girl's diary written during the war in Kosovo. For all of us at ABC News, I'm Charles Gibson. Have a great weekend and good night.
From ABC News, Sunday on This Week, holiday shopping, the old way, the new way. How are these guys changing the face of retail? Sam and Cokie find out. And next week on Good Morning America, looking for a rush? Are you a thrill seeker? How about a midair dogfight or daring to be like James Bond? Vacations you'll never forget next week.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
This is KATU, the power of 2000. Now, Channel 2.